Here we go.
Good morning, YouTube. Man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodmin Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, tomorrow we have a big event. This is the first start for one of the biggest events for the bodybuilding season, especially in the U.S. One of the biggest shows, especially that's around. It's a top tier show, which is for certain divisions is straight Olympia qualifications. You know, with the point systems put in now, divisions like men's classic, physique, men's physique, bikini and wellness now have to get points to go to shows. But this is a top tier show. Like the Ultra Classic, you can automatically go to Olympia for those divisions. But everybody else, you know, the point system doesn't work for you. But anyway, I would say this is the first show for women's physique, for its, start for Olympic qualification. There were some shows, just this past month, but those shows were master shows. You had women's bodybuilding for the Triple O. But this show does not have women's bodybuilding this year. As you know, the New York Pro has dropped women's bodybuilding from its lineup. The announcement was made last year, and I was really disappointed. And you know what? I get my feelings about it. But again, this is my thing. I will support the show. We'll talk about it, but here's one thing. I will not watch it. I will watch shows and promoters that support women's bodybuilding. If they don't, I don't watch it. I used to watch every year, but now I'm clipping it out. But anyway, the list came out a few days ago, and it came out a little earlier. I mean, the list for Triple O didn't come out till like about 10 o'clock one time, and then this shit came out right about where I do my live. Shout out to my man, David, Female Bodybuilding Forum. He's going to be there. Checking it out. Also, my man, KL the Wonder. He's going to be also there. I hope he does some little stuff. Maybe get some interviews. So anyway, the list came out. As you know, I will talk about figure and physique. Those two divisions I do focus a little bit more on. I don't pay too much as the others. So the list came out. We have quite a few ladies. There's some surprises. And also we have a pro debut for a couple of ladies here. I wish him all the best of luck. First off, we have here one Miss Josefa Belladonna, and she's from Mexico. Josefa's been competing quite some time. Beautiful lady, great physique. I mean, she's a multi-time competitor. I know she's done Texas Pro, and also the last time she competed was at the Ultima Classic. So let's see how she does. Next up is Yulia Glavacheva. If I got the name wrong, I apologize. She's from Russia, but she lives in Dubai. Now, Yulia has been competing for quite a bit. She got her first Olympic qualification last year at the Portugal Pro, and she was, I think, she didn't crack the top 10 at the Olympia that year. Press physique, I follow her. I mean, wow, her body's just crazy. I mean, just great physique, great look to her. I mean, I'm a fan of hers. Next up here is, Jai Lee. Now, Jai Lee, if you know her, she's been in the game for quite some time. She's done the New York Pro quite often. Last year she did the Arizona Pro, and very active competitor. She's also been in Olympia. I think last year she did was 2022. Next up we have is Young Kim, and she's also like her fellow South Korean. Jai is from Korea, South Korea, I mean, and she's done this show quite often. I think she's done this show about every year since she's been a pro. Been impressed with her physique, great look to her. She's an impressive competitor. One lady I had a pleasure meeting last year and did a little interview is a lovely Mrs. Susan Matheson. As you know, that's my man's girlfriend. David, he loves Susan. He's excited to see her. She has a great look to her. She did Tampa last year and the Master Olympia. And after that, she took a step back. Amazing physique, great overall build. I mean, one thing what I love about women like her and Yulia, they have not been to silicone. They have beautiful pecs. I'm a fan of women with beautiful natural pecs. It's just one of the things that I really like. A young lady who I had a pleasure interviewing a while back, she turned pro back in 2024. And I got a chance to interview her after she turned pro. That is Diana Perez. Now, we was going to do another interview a while back, but circumstances happened. But I hope we might do a little follow-up interview, talk about experience at the New York Pro. As you know, she also served our country. So anytime anybody who served her, I'll say thank you for your service. I say I appreciate the sacrifice she made as a citizen on behalf of this country. So this is going to be her pro debut. She looks amazing. She really has put on some size, and I hope she does well at the show. Another lady who I also got to meet while I was in Tampa, the lovely young Miss Paula Ranta. And Paula has been evolving. As you know, Paula was originally in figure for a good bit. Then she switched over to women's physique. She made her first Olympic in women's physique back in 2025. Precious young lady, great shape. I mean, she's still young. That's the thing. I think she's gonna be 27 this year, so it's not even 30 yet. So her potential is to grow is exponential. Maybe she may take a step back for a while, I would say, and take that time to hit her maturity and then come back. She probably would do a lot better. But I think she would do well this show. I mean, it's an open opportunity, especially when I tell you the end. Next up, we have the lady also had the pleasure of being on my channel, the lovely Mrs. Megan Russell. This is the first show for her for the season. Now, Megan, as you know, she made her pro debut back in 2024 after she got her pro card after the junior naturals, and nationals. Amazing lady. She's a mother, a wife. She works in the medical system. We keep in contact. I think she's a great lady. I hope she does well at this show. As you know, her last show was Omaha, where she was the top 5. So if she brings in the great condition she did from this show, I think she can probably crack the top 5 at this one. We have it one Miss Christina Celas, and Miss Celas actually turned pro, I believe, in 2024, I believe. Yeah, I think 2024, 2025. And she did a couple of shows. She did Chicago, and also I believe she did New York the year before. Great physique, especially women muscle maturity. I mean, I'm a fan of hers. I know a friend that knows her. I hope to have her on an interview in the future. Next one, we have one Miss Julia Skarad from Germany. And to me, I just have a thing for German women. German female bodybuilders bring a level of muscle that's so amazing. Conditioning, size. As you remember, she actually made her pro debut at the show back in 2024. She earned a pro card just maybe a few weeks before she did New York Pro. And actually was doing figure and physique at the show, but I think she earned a pro card in figure and decided to make her pro debut in physique. Follow her on social media. She looks great. Her physique is just crazy. It's just amazing. This is a possible top contender for Olympic qualification at the show. Next up is a lady we haven't seen her competed since 2024, and that is, Winsome White. Now, Miss White is from New York. This is her home state. This is her backyard. As you know, Action New York Pro is done in New Jersey, but hey, it's still, whatever. And Winsome, I actually got to see her compete when she got her first Olympic qualification back in 2022 at Savannah Pro. Amazing lady. She's a mother, dedicated athlete. I'm a fan of Winsome, so I hope she does well. I mean, this will be her first show since she last competed in 2024. Now, the list for the figure division, not as deep. Figures was busy. Last month they had quite a few shows. It was at least out of the 4 shows they had, at least 3 were mainly, they were both combination of Masters and Open Olympic qualification. And then you had one was just for Olympia. But, we have a good number of ladies here. Not as deep as usual. Usually you can expect maybe a little about 20 or more, but I think we got at least about 14, 15 women, but still a good lineup. We have some ladies who are possibly making their pro debut. First of all, we have one Miss Dominique Berridge, and she last competed in Atlanta Pro, and she has been a pro for about a couple of years now. Also, we have here a lady who's been a multi-time Olympian in the figure division, and that's one Miss Thais Warner. Now, Miss Warner has last competed last year at the Olympia. She's done also Masters Olympia, amazing physique, great conditioning. I mean, she's at a level that is just, I would say she's a top contender, I think, especially depending who else is on this list. Next up, we have one Miss Jackie Canny, and this is going to be her pro debut. And I believe she turned pro about a year or 2 ago at the Universe, which is also promoted by Steve Weinberg, who also promotes the New York Pro. Next up, we have one Miss Vanessa Haleba. If I got a name wrong, I apologize. Another German bodybuilder. I'm a fan of female bodybuilders from Germany. She last competed at FIBO. She took second at that show. So she's coming in as probably a contender for Olympic qualification. And we have here just a young lady who just, got her Olympic qualification at Puerto Rico, and that is Janine Kessel. And she also is from Germany. She did the Battle of the Bodies, which was about a couple of weeks ago. And she looked really good. So she's coming in already with Olympia qualification in her pocket and winning her last show. So this possibly, and remember, this is where show she made her pro debut back in 2025. So she's possibly maybe a contender of winning this show. She's already got an Olympic qualification, so, just come to show up. Next up, we have one Miss Georgina Lonana, from Mexico. Another Mexican competitor. I follow her. She followed me on social media. Amazing lady. She made a pro debut at Puerto Rico not too long ago. Next up, we have one Miss Marcela Marced from Puerto Rico. Good condition, amazing lady, great physique. She's been competing for quite some time. And this is going to be, I believe, her second show for the year. Both of them, this is for both Georgina and Marina follow me on my IG. So shout out to them. Next up, we have one Miss Angelina Nogueira. If I got a name, Nogueira, I think Nogueira, I believe, or Nogueira. I want to mispronounce it, I'm sorry. And this is going to be her pro debut. I believe she turned pro at the 2024 Nationals Championships in Texas. So this is going to be her pro debut. Next up, we have one Miss Julia Nitrin. If I got a name wrong, I want to apologize. And this is also going to be her pro debut. I believe she did the Junior Nats about last year, I believe. Next up we have here is one Miss Yasser Pastrella. If I got a name wrong, I apologize. She just recently turned pro at the National Championship. Good luck to her. Let's see how she does. And last, we have here one more lady. She's from South Africa. One Miss Ashley Sherwood. Now, she's been a pro for a good bit. And this is going to be, I believe, her second year as a pro. And last but not least, we have Nancy Winkle. And Miss Winkle is also from Germany. I mean, telling you, this is going to be, these Germans, they're coming in stacked. At least you have 3 Germans in figure and one more in women's physique. I mean, just saw her get an interview with my man Claudio at the Hardcore Female Bodybuilding Fan. Amazing physique, crazy condition. She follows me on social media. I hope maybe in the future I can do an interview with her. I mean, she has great look to her, great muscle, great development. Maybe I could see potential of doing women's physique in a couple of years. You never know. I mean, this is how you look at it. We look at women's figure now. This women's figure can do women's physique. Like same thing, women's physique can do women's bodybuilding. But, she was really good. Possibly top 5 competitor, maybe even a winner. It's all dependent. But this is going to be her pro debut. Now, the New York Pro is starting tomorrow. And you want to check it out. I will leave the link to the live stream. Now, as I said again, I'm not watching the show. I'm not. Like I said, I'm disappointed by what Steve Weinberg did when he dropped the women's bodybuilding from the lineup. But again, I understand why he did it because of the low numbers. Last year we had 3 ladies, and as you remember years ago, they did drop before, but it brought it back in 2020. And this year we don't have Natalia Coelho. Natalia's not doing this year. I was surprised she's not on the list. So, my guess now being a champion, she's taking a step back. What's the point doing these shows where you already got the championship? Pittsburgh, I got to wait to see the list for that one. And I might do a live on who might be doing Pittsburgh on Monday. So, you want to still check it out? I'm going to leave the link in the description. You can support this show. I'm not watching it and save my money. I got a trip coming up. So, shout out to the competitors. Best of luck to you. And, Mess Up was a good show. And also shout out to my man's, Female Bodybuilding Channel, David. He's going to be there. So if you are ladies who watch this, you want to do an interview with me, check him out. Also, my man KL The One is going to be there. So you want to do an interview with him, check him out. Support these brothers who are doing content about y'all ladies, the sport of bodybuilding. Anyway, this is me on our way, George Page, a.k.a. the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Like, subscribe. I'm out.